Rainollon here. Today is another build showcase, and it's Hikou Prime. Today I'm going to show you a very interesting build I created a couple of days ago, and I really enjoy it, so let's start. Let's start with Siren. So I'm not going to show you the build. There's no point for me showing the build. It doesn't really matter what mods to use. The most important thing for this build synergy to function is by using Toxin Lash and Rhino's Roar. That's it. Just subsume your ultimate ability for Rhino's Roar, press Toxin Lash, Rhino's Roar will give Toxin Lash even more damage, and that's pretty much it. Just build Strength Federation, that's it. But for Hikou Prime, I'm using very unique mods that you have never seen, like Concealed Explosives. Concealed Explosives is a unique mod for throwing weapons. What it does, it has a 8% chance to explode. And the explosion is a 10-meter radius doing 200 blast damage. The 200 blast damage, we cannot mod it at all. So any increased damage or elemental damage or blast damage will not increase the damage at all. And yeah, that's a massive problem. But it does work with Toxin Lash. So Toxin Lash gives you the toxin damage. So when you do that explosion damage from Concealed Explosion in a 10-meter radius, every enemy in a 10-meter radius will be proc with Toxin. And Rhino's Roar will boost the Toxin damage. So how do we scale this? So we just use Toxin Lash, but we also use Pistol Pestilence, which gives you Toxin damage, and Pathogen Rounds, which gives you Toxin damage. This will boost the Toxin damage from Toxin Lash in the 10-meter radius. Also, because it's a 10-meter radius, it does work with Prime Fulmination, which will boost the blast radius from 10 meter to 14.4 meter radius. Galvanized Diffusion and Lethal Torrent for fire rate and multi-shot for more explosions, more toxin procs. Argus Seeker for 90% status duration. This will make the duration on the toxin procs last quite a long time. Or you can use, of course, the Expel mod, which is another damage increase mod that works with Toxin Lash. This will boost the damage from Toxin quite a bit. And also, it's really good too as well. And also I'm using Pistol Elementals, which gives you plus 9% status damage, which is a multiplicative damage increase. And we're going to be proccing Toxin, so this will give Toxin damage 90% status damage. So yeah, there's a lot of synergy here. So I will explain it again. We explode in a 40-meter radius, proccing a lot of Toxin from multi-shot. Guaranteed Toxin from multi-shot thanks to Toxin Lash. Boosting the damage with these two mods, making the Toxin last longer, and making the Toxin do even more damage over time. And for the Exilus Weapon Adapter slot mods, I will not recommend anything here. It doesn't work except for projectile speed. That's the only thing that works for this build. So you can use Lethal Momentum for projectile speed. And for the Arcane, nothing works at all. Like, not a single one works except for Secondary Encumber. Secondary Encumber on status effect, there's a 24% chance to trigger a second random status effect. Because we are proccing Toxin, thanks to Toxin Lash, this will trigger a random Toxin, random status effect on an enemy. And you're like, wait, why am I not using Cascadian Powered, Flare, Overcharge, Voltage, Deadhead, Merciless? Like I said, it doesn't work. Nothing here works except for Secondary Encumber. Not a single thing. I did a lot of testing, it doesn't work at all. So ignore this entire system. You can even leave this slot empty, because the Encumber doesn't really do much. Sometimes it can proc like gas or heat or corrosion, which will help me a little bit, but really just barely helps. So yeah, that's the really weird synergy you can do. So with Siren and this, and you're like, how good is this against high-level content like Steel Path? So I'm going to get some energy, press my Toxin Lash ability, Rhino's Roar. I spawn level 200 Corpus Steel Path units, as you can see here, Steel Path, level 200. I will just toss once. So that's level 200 Corpus units just dead, which is quite nice. So against Corpus, this is quite busted. Another problem I have with the old mods, and always did, is concealed explosives. It's a really old mod. It has a really old system, which you cannot scale damage, and also it has a really old line of sight. So the line of sight on this thing is quite bad. Sometimes it won't even hit enemies in front of you. So you have to like constantly toss this to hope you hit the enemy in front of you or slightly behind this wall like this. Like, it has a really old line of sight, and it's quite annoying, but because we're using Hikou, and Hikou tosses really fast, we can easily like move around and do stuff like this. And you wonder, alright, that's the Corpus. How good is it with the Grineer? So I can clear the Corpus, spawn the Grineer. And with the Grineer, it slightly falls off, mostly because they have armor. But if I constantly toss this, you can see that this guy has 44 toxin procs, and it constantly does the toxin damage. Yeah, 41 toxin procs, magnetic, viral, thanks to encumber, because the encumber is the only one that works. So that's against like Grineer. So now I'm going to show you against infested. Infested is also slightly weaker, but it's still better than Grineer. So that's one entire magazine of Hikou, 26 shots, and I cleared the entire group of level 200 infested. And now I'm going to show you against the Orokin, which are the tankiest ones. And with these guys, Rhino's Roar, Toxin Lash. You can see this guy is not taking any damage, because there's a really weird hitbox system with old mods. As you can see, 71 stacks of corrosion. This guy also didn't take any damage. This guy didn't take damage. It's really weird. Yep, it's quite nice. If you want to do more damage, like I said, use expel mods. It will boost the damage initial hits and damage over time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe I can summon like Eximus units. Grineer. No, a heavy gunner. Corrupted heavy gunners. 20 of them. You can see it, of course. What? Those are not Eximus units. Kill these guys. Clear. Heavy. There they are. So Toxin Lash. Rhino's Roar. It's usable. As you can see, it's just a stupid synergy, and it works. It just works. It's just quite good. Against Murmur enemies, it's also really good. I did test this on Exterminate Steel Path and Murmur enemies, and I was like clearing really well. It's not like Okikor, of course, but better than most primaries and secondaries. It's just a really fun synergy you can do with Siren and Hikou. It works, and it makes Hikou usable with this synergy. You can use this thing with the other throwing weapon. Was it? I think, yeah, Spire. You can use this with this thing as well, and this, and with all of these. I think you cannot use it with these guys, but I will highly recommend using it with Hikou, because they shoot fast, they have a really high magazine size and really high maximum ammo pool, so makes it the best. Compared to Spire, they're kind of slow, and yeah, you won't be constantly proccing Toxin. And yeah, it's quite nice. It's just really powerful. It's a very unique way you can build this thing. Sadly, you have to use Siren. Siren is the only one that works. But yeah, just tossing one or two, you can see that Corpus units hate this thing. Yep, that's Hikou Prime Siren build yet again. Sadly, Siren has to be used. But yeah, Hikou Prime works with this, and it's quite nice. It's very unique. So yep, I hope you enjoyed the build. Thank you everybody for watching. Leave a like, sub, and see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.